Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the Coaxium Cantina. I'm Benjamin,
And I'm Aidan.
and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about characters possibly appearing in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, not just any character, because I would expect characters would appear in the Book of Boba Fett. But according to Bespin Bulletin, they say that Cine Links is apparent. I don't know what that is. I think that's a news thing. Reports that Mix Mayfield, Cobb Vanth, and Grief Karga are all in the Book of Boba Fett. So obviously those characters are all from season 2 of The Mandalorian, and some of them season 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying that we're amazing in our prediction, but I am kind of saying we are in the sense that we kept saying this is going to be very bounty hunter heavy, and I mean it looks like it.
I mean,
is.
I don't think it takes a genius to work that out, but we're going to give credit to us. So well done,
Hey,
us.
I don't give myself enough credit day to day. I'm doing
Wow.
this.
Apparently, this is now turned into a therapy session.
Yeah. Hello, Han Solo. This is the oh, I love Family Guy. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting because did you say Grief Karga?
Yes.
That's an interesting one because he's part of the Bounty Hunter Guild, but when they went to him in season 2, it seemed very outside of his kind of what he is now. Like it seems like he's almost left the guild, so that's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, when we saw him in season 2, I think he was like a
mayor.
Yeah, of that town. So he might be in there because he needs a bounty hunter to do something for him.
Probably.
Not necessarily that he is the bounty hunter doing things, but he might go to Boba Fett, like someone would go to Jabba and say, I need this doing.
Yeah, I mean, Cobb Vanth I would understand because he was on Tatooine. He's probably going to be pissed that his armor's he's gone back to the rifle guy.
I mean, obviously we know how the Boba Fett armor got out of the Sarlacc, but we don't know how he got the Boba Fett armor.
Yeah.
Because Boba Fett had the Boba Fett armor on in the Sarlacc, but then he must have got out of the Sarlacc, surely with that Boba Fett armor still on.
I mean, Cobb Vanth got it from the Jawas, so we'll probably get a flashback to how the Jawas got it off.
Yeah, but how did Boba Fett lose his armor, which he was wearing?
I don't know.
I mean, the Jawas are interesting creatures, but I don't think they're willing to take clothes off people when they're wearing them.
You never know. It's Beskar. It's widely loved. I'm actually surprised that I mean, obviously it's Mandalorian armor, but I think it was surprising that the armor was confirmed to be Beskar.
Yeah. Well, it was confirmed that Boba Fett, well, not Boba Fett, but Jango Fett was a Mandalorian, wasn't it?
Well, family.
Yeah, basically a Mandalorian, same as Din Djarin, which was interesting because that's not what it was before. I think it was something like Jango was doing a job for the Mandalorians and then got that as a payment or something. But now he is a Mandalorian, as far as
it all depends on who's writing the story.
Yeah, but I think Jon Favreau wrote the story for the Mandalorian.
Well, I prefer that because that's a more consistent thing.
I think it might have been Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni,
Hmm.
Um, two people that should be running Star Wars, but there we go. Also Mix Mayfield. That's an interesting one because honestly, in season 1, I don't think anyone cared about him that much.
Which one was Mix?
He was the one that they took out of the prison.
Oh, right. I mean, it's probably with him. It's probably just going to be a case of, hey, I need work.
Yeah, because
It's
that's the one where they went, oh, I'm sure that you died on the mission or something.
yeah. It's like really. I mean, I I wouldn't say no to seeing his character again. He was all right in The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Um, but I'd probably be more interested in Cobb Vanth if anything,
yeah, yeah,
because we've seen that he can actually fight when he has some decent weapons.
yeah. I mean, it could be because, Django got Boba and then Boba can't get another clone.
Yeah.
So he might be looking to pass the legacy of the Fett name on to someone.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
interesting. I didn't. I don't
The
know.
I don't know whether that would work or not, but it
Mm,
could be something like that. Or it could be just a Jabba the Hutt situation where Boba Fett just hires people and people do work for him, and that's that.
I'd probably say that, to be honest. He's Boba Fett kind of has like that more ruthless personality and Mandalorian, so
Yeah.
I'd assume that he is not a nice warlord.
No, no. Okay, so while we're talking about the Book of Boba Fett, we want to talk about the rating, the the brutality of it. Do you want it to be kid friendly and be I don't know, like a friendly, or do you want Boba Fett to be a brutal leader kind of thing?
I mean, at the very least, Mandalorian level, like when he shattered the armor and like choked out and impaled the command trooper.
Yeah,
Um, but I think for Book of Boba Fett, it needs to be a bit higher because we had the OT Boba Fett who was famous, but we didn't really have any backing behind it. And then in Mandalorian, he was an absolute beast. He was
yeah,
walking around, and even without his armor, he was like murdering people left, right, and center. And I
yeah.
think now that he's in this position of power, he'll be able to do whatever he wants. And if people like double cross him or like don't deliver,
Oh,
I'd
that would be awesome to
expect
see.
him. Yeah, I'd expect him to like send a message or
Yeah,
say like, I'm not messing about. This is what happens if you don't deliver.
for sure. Yeah, I think we had this conversation before, even when the show wasn't revealed, but there was talks about a film. There's no point in Star Wars being like a bloody, sweary thing because that's just not what Star Wars is. You know, there's no point in having Boba Fett going around like Deadpool, basically, but just
Yeah.
without the comedy. Or some could say like Mortal Kombat. We were just having a conversation about Mortal Kombat, which we watched yesterday. So there you go.
And it was amazing.
It was. But yeah, there's no point in that being in Star Wars because that's just not Star Wars.
Star Wars.
So
Uh,
it's
I
it has to be brutal, but not brutal.
Yeah, I mean, in turn, it begs the question: with these characters being rumored to be in it, and us talking about his brutality, would he kill those people? Most likely, yes, I'd say. Like,
You
given
could.
the right circumstance, but
I would
who
say
would
probably not for Grief Karga, because I feel like
no.
he's going to be, unless because of what happened with Cara Dune, unless they want to get rid of both those two characters,
Yeah.
and just forget about those kind of thing. But I feel like that's a bit unfair for the character of Grief Karga.
Yeah.
And
same.
Carl Weathers, because Carl Weathers is a legend.
He's ace. Dylan, you son of a bitch. That's Predator for all you Predator fans. I think he'd.
Or insert Rocky quote here for all those Rocky fans.
I think he'd probably kill Cobb Vanth after a mission, I'd say, because he's like, hey, mate. And he knows Cobb Vanth had his armor as well. Yeah. So he's probably like, right, this dude took my armor from me. I want it back. Now I've got it. If this man doesn't do what I want, I'm going to kill him. Mayfield doesn't really have that much of a reputation, I'd say. So I would say
Mix Mayfield is probably the most likely to be killed.
Really?
Yeah. I just feel like the way that they've set up his character, especially what he was like in the Imperial place, how he questioned everything, and I just feel like that's not going to go down well with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Kind of like his orders are his orders, and it's you can't question them. So I just feel like his character is the most likely to be killed.
Very defiant.
Okay, so after that, there's obviously going to be more characters than these three in this Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah.
And being that it's Star Wars and it's owned by Disney, fan service is going to be a thing. Whether it's done well or not, who knows? We'll see. But who do you think is likely... Who else do you think is likely to appear in this? Or who do you want to appear? Or what?
Well, that's the problem. When you think of a bounty hunter thing, you think of people like Bosk, but he's dead. Unless they bring him back to life, which Disney are known to do.
Yeah, he is. Well, he was on the sail barge, so I'm going to guess he's dead.
Yeah.
Or they could just say somehow Bosk has returned.
Don't. Just don't. I don't know. Could we... I mean, Fennec's going to be in it, and I'd imagine that she'd be quite a substantial part of it.
Well, she's like the Bib Fortuna, I would guess.
Yeah. Just, more badass and doesn't say McClunky.
Does Bib Fortuna say McClunky?
He says McClunky.
I know. When?
He says it before his friend gets shot.
Huh?
Or friend, quote unquote. And then before he dies, I'm pretty sure he says McClunky, like a really toned down version.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but also, Bib Fortuna, who was ruling Jabba's palace, I never even thought about that.
Me neither. I didn't even know he would be still alive.
I thought Bib Fortuna was on the sail barge as well.
Same.
So maybe Boss could be alive.
Maybe. I mean, he's definitely more...
But didn't the sail barge literally blow up?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like
as in fire blow up?
Yeah. Started off everything on fire, and then the thing blew up, and then it fell down. So, yeah.
How does that one work, then?
I don't know, just, as I say, Disney, or, subplots and legends and shit like that.
Wow. I mean, somehow Bib Fortuna returned.
That actually makes more sense than the Palpatine one, to be honest.
Somehow. So Boss could be alive. If Bib Fortuna is alive, then Boss could be alive.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think Bosk is quite a popular character now, thanks to Battlefront. Yeah. And we haven't really had much of him in Star Wars in general. So I
Yeah.
think it could be a very good opportunity to use him. So yeah, that could happen. Obviously, we're gonna have to talk about this because this is like a legendary pairing. Han Solo.
I don't want it to happen. I said this in the last video. I don't want them to keep using famous characters.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good when they do it.
Yeah.
But it's good when it's necessary to the story.
Yeah.
If you have in fact, that's even the point. Han and Chewie wouldn't even be near Jabba's palace with the history they had with Jabba. Even when he's dead, Tatooine would probably be like one of the last places they go.
Yeah, but also, just I fully agree with you. I don't want him in there, but just to,
provide the counter.
Yes, somebody has to provide the content here.
Oh wow, Christ!
Maybe Boba Fett heard that he obviously knows that Han Solo got out and then survived, but then put him in the Sarlacc pit. It was technically him. So revenge, maybe. That could be what the series is centered on, him trying to find Han Solo.
I guess, but then it's kind of a weird thing to set up revenge based on Boba Fett. Where? Or the Family Guy one. Boba Fett's right behind you. Right, when I give him the signal, we attack. Do. He fell. What? He fell. What? Fell in the pit. Oh, yeah. I love that. The Family Guy Star Wars is just... I praise whoever did it.
Yeah. But going back to the Han Solo thing with revenge, it's kind of like one of those things where it's already set up to be that thing. Like, it's like Anakin versus Maul, where, if it happened, then it would already be set up to be like an anger-filled fight because of what Maul then did to Qui-Gon and how Anakin takes revenge. So it was already set up that way. Same with Han and Boba in a way, but I believe, obviously we know that Han Solo was hunting Rathars before Episode 7.
Yeah.
So I don't really
we could
think
have the inclusion of Kanja Club.
I would pay another year's worth of Disney Plus if Kanji Club got in. But it's kind of like the Inquisitors in Andor, which we'll get onto in another video. Does he really need to be there?
No, I'd say no.
And also, you have the thing of, well, who's going to play him? If Han Solo does come in, who's going to play him? Because technically,
Harrison Ford's not gonna.
Well, no, Harrison Ford. Well, he's like 90 years old. I know he's not, but emphasis. Because he's got to be in between, obviously, Episode 6 and Episode 7, but he's got to be also in between. Oh God, why do I voluntarily say this name? Alden. Yeah, the guy that played him in Solo, and obviously Harrison Ford, but also looking more like Harrison Ford than he did in Solo.
Yeah.
So if they do go with that, they've got to be very careful. No, God no. If we saw what they did with Leia, no. Not Leia in The Rise of Skywalker, Leia in Rogue One.
I was going to say Rise of Skywalker Leia was done.
Yeah, but that was literally 2 seconds.
True.
And even Luke Skywalker wasn't exactly perfect.
What, in The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was alright. I can see why people don't like it, but I thought it was okay.
I don't know. I just think maybe something with the lighting or something.
Yeah, his face
it
was
looked very
quite...
fake,
Mm,
which obviously is CGI. A lot of CGI characters do look very fake. CGI human characters look very fake. At least it didn't literally look like the Lego figure of Leia in the complete saga.
right.
Because have you seen that meme where it's Rogue One Leia and the Lego Star Wars Leia?
I don't think so.
It's brilliant. But yeah, they would have to be very careful with the casting. If they're gonna CGI over it as well, they have to be very careful with the CGI, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult. Then again,
it's a dodgy topic, CGI.
Harrison Ford is playing Indiana Jones in his 70s, so he might as well come back and play Han Solo as well.
Yeah,
Even
but
though
he actually
genuinely
likes Indiana Jones.
Yeah, even though he genuinely hates Han Solo, so there you go.
I don't know why.
It's such a shame.
Yeah.
I bet there were many figures on Harrison Ford's paycheck to get him to just be in The Rise of Skywalker again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, there's no question about that. He needed like a crap ton of prompting, I'd say.
Even just to be in Episode 7, there was probably even more figures on there.
6 figure, make that a 7.
The funny thing is, probably Mark Hamill got paid more for Episode 7. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I highly doubt it, but Harrison Ford probably got paid quite a bit. Book of Boba Fett, Harrison Ford's not going to be in it. But so, are we going with no way for Han Solo? With no?
Yeah, I have no like, not. I don't even have a desire to see him in it. To be honest, I think what he's done is good enough. For
I
his
think
character.
what Disney have to understand is that you can only get so much out of a character, right?
Yeah.
Once it's finished, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, obviously Obi-Wan Kenobi still got a lot to discover about him and the time that they're setting it. But it's with things like, to a point, Luke Skywalker. I mean, he's kind of done. Like, what he's done is finished. I mean, you can, I guess, get something out of the Jedi training kind of bit with, but that's more Kylo Ren than Luke Skywalker, I think. If they were going to do a Luke Skywalker show, I think it would be quite useless because we've got everything that we need from Luke Skywalker. Whereas if they were to do that area with Kylo Ren and have a Kylo Ren show, that would be more useful than having a Luke Skywalker show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need a Kylo Ren show, basically.
Oh yeah, no, I'd take that like in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So yeah, we've gone with no for Han Solo, which probably means no for Chewbacca as well. I mean, I don't know why Chewbacca would be in it if Han Solo isn't in it.
A maybe for Bosk. I mean,
yeah, depending on whether he's canonically alive or not. Don't know if that's a word or not, but there you go. Just said it.
Because I'd say the characters that are rumoured or confirmed to be in it, I'd say are good, and it makes sense with their past involvement in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that that's big enough to be like, oh, come and watch our show. We have Grief Karga, Cobb Vanth, and the other bloke.
I mean, the other bloke just sums up brilliantly.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I would love. Imagine if Boba Fett builds its own Suicide Squad.
That would be cool.
Of bounty hunters. That would be awesome. I'm trying to think. What were we talking about last time on our last podcast?
The
Wookiee. The Wookiee bounty hunter. He could show up if he's in season 3 of The Mandalorian. He could show up. And I think Boba Fett comes out before Mandalorian, doesn't it? because it comes out this Christmas.
It works. It works.
Well, it's supposed to.
Well, yeah.
And then Mando, I think, comes out early 2022.
Yeah.
That'd be a year without any Mandalorian.
I can't do it. Not again.
But there's also that bounty hunter in episode 7 who was going to take Finn.
Oh yeah, Crimson Crusader.
Something like that. So yeah, there are, and obviously, you know, they can make new characters. They don't all have to be tied in. I mean, there's no confirmation that there's going to be any fan service. It's just Disney, so you would expect it.
Yeah, it's easier to go with that possibility than not.
And I just think that there's got to be something that drives him to do something, if you know what I mean. Like the revenge of Han Solo would just drive him to say, I want everybody hunting down Han Solo.
Or in essence, I want every gun we have to fire on that man.
Pretty much, yeah. So there's got to be something big that he just really wants to achieve by the end of it. I mean, obviously that's storytelling, you know, the basics of storytelling, but it's got to be actually feasible, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
So, is that all you've got on the Book of Boba Fett?
Yes, it is.
We have waffled for too long on the Book of Boba Fett, so...
It's our character trait.
It is. If we had a character trait, that would be ours. If we had a character trait.
If you come to watch these and expect a straight answer, you just...
Or an answer anything to do with the question that we say at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know what you think about the Book of Boba Fett, the characters that are appearing, or the fan service characters that are appearing. Yeah, let us know all of that, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.